Ronaldo didn't just score a goal. He may have accidentally restarted the biggest civil war in sports. The moment Cristiano Ronaldo finally found the net, the conversation stopped being about Portugal, the World Cup, or even the match itself. It instantly became Ronaldo versus Messi again. And what makes this situation even crazier is that it happened on Lionel Messi's birthday. I was scrolling through reactions after the game, expecting the usual celebration posts. Instead, I found something completely different. Thousands of comments, endless arguments, fans treating a single goal like a declaration of war. One side screaming that Ronaldo had answered the critics. The other side laughing because Messi already had 5 goals in the tournament. Within minutes, one football match transformed into another chapter of a rivalry that refuses to die. And honestly, that's what fascinates me. Most rivalries disappear when the players get older. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird eventually became history. Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic slowly moved into legacy discussions. But Ronaldo and Messi seem trapped inside an endless loop where every touch of the ball creates another argument. What happened here wasn't really about the goal. It was about what the goal represented. For days, criticism had been building around Ronaldo. Every missed chance became a headline. Every quiet performance became evidence that his era was finally over. Social media had already started writing the ending to his story. Then one finish changed everything. Suddenly, the same people who had been silent appeared everywhere. The reaction wasn't normal celebration. It was release. Years of loyalty, years of defending a favorite player, years of hearing that he was finished. All of it exploded at once. What struck me most wasn't Ronaldo's goal itself. It was how quickly fans turned the moment into a message directed at Messi supporters. The comments were unbelievable. People joked that Ronaldo had finally answered Messi's phone call. Others claimed the goal was a birthday gift. Some called it a tribute, some called it revenge. And within seconds, the internet became exactly what it always becomes whenever these two names are mentioned. A battlefield. The funny part is that Messi wasn't even on the field. Think about that. One player scores in one match. Another player, sitting somewhere else entirely, becomes the center of the conversation. That level of connection between two athletes is almost impossible to replicate. We've reached a point where Ronaldo can score against one opponent, and somehow the discussion becomes about Messi's goal tally. Messi can score against another opponent, and suddenly Ronaldo trends online. Their careers became permanently attached to each other. Neither can escape it, neither can fully benefit from it, and neither fan base seems willing to let it end. What makes this moment especially interesting is the timing. Messi entered the day with 5 goals. Ronaldo entered the day under pressure. The numbers looked one-sided. Many fans were already posting updated scoring charts. Messi near the top, other stars collecting goals, Ronaldo sitting behind them. The narrative seemed complete. Then Ronaldo scored, then scored again. And instantly, the entire mood shifted. Not because he caught Messi, not because he became the tournament's top scorer, but because he reminded everyone of something people keep forgetting. Legends don't disappear on schedule. Sports fans love predicting decline. We do it constantly. Every year we look at aging stars and convince ourselves the next bad performance is the final one. Sometimes we're right. Sometimes we're spectacularly wrong. Ronaldo has spent years punishing people for making that mistake. Every time someone says he's done, he finds a way to produce another moment. Maybe it's a goal. Maybe it's a record. Maybe it's a performance nobody expected anymore. That's why reactions become so emotional. Because fans aren't just celebrating a goal, they're celebrating survival. They're celebrating the idea that their hero still matters. And that's where things get controversial. Because if we're being honest, a lot of football discussion today isn't actually about football. It's about identity. Some fans genuinely care more about winning arguments than understanding the game. You can see it everywhere. Ronaldo scores. People immediately compare him to Messi. Messi scores. People immediately compare him to Ronaldo. Neither performance gets judged on its own. Everything becomes ammunition. Everything becomes evidence. Everything becomes another entry in a case file that has been growing for nearly 20 years. At some point, the debate stopped being about who is better. Now it's about proving that your side was right all along. And that's a completely different thing. One comment I saw perfectly captured the atmosphere. A fan joked that Ronaldo supporters had been hiding underground and finally came back out after the goal. Another fan responded by saying Messi supporters would disappear after the next Ronaldo performance. Neither side was talking about tactics. Neither side was talking about positioning. They were talking about territory, like rival armies waiting for momentum swings. It's hilarious, it's ridiculous, and it's also the reason this rivalry remains the most powerful force in football culture. What impressed me during the match wasn't just the finish itself. It was Ronaldo's movement. At an age when most forwards have already retired, he's still finding spaces that younger defenders fail to track. People focus on speed. They focus on physical decline. But elite strikers survive because of intelligence. The older Ronaldo gets, the more his game becomes a study in timing. He doesn't need to outrun everyone. He just needs to arrive 1 second earlier than everyone else. And that's exactly what happened. The finish looked simple. Simple goals are often the hardest to create. A fraction of a second, a small movement, one correct decision. Suddenly the ball is in the net. The scoreboard changes, the internet explodes. What I find fascinating is how quickly football fans forget context. Before the goals, criticism dominated the conversation. After the goals, praise dominated the conversation. Neither side wanted balance. Nobody wanted nuance. The same player existed before and after the match. The reality didn't change as dramatically as the reaction suggested. But sports have never been about reality alone. Sports are emotional. They are irrational. They are tribal. That's why a single Ronaldo goal can generate thousands of comments within minutes. That's why people start posting scoring comparisons. That's why people bring up records. That's why people start counting career achievements all over again. The goal becomes bigger than the goal. It becomes symbolic. And when symbolism enters the conversation, logic usually leaves. Another thing that stood out was how many people referenced Ronaldo's age. Some joked about him being a 41-year-old talent. Others treated every goal like proof that aging doesn't exist. Both reactions miss the real story. The remarkable thing isn't that Ronaldo is old. The remarkable thing is that we're no longer surprised when he performs at this age. Think about how insane that sounds. A player deep into the final stage of his career scores in a World Cup environment, and people react as if it was expected. We've become numb to extraordinary longevity. That alone says everything. Most careers don't survive this long. Most athletes don't remain relevant this long. Most stars don't continue generating global arguments this long. Yet here we are, still discussing Ronaldo, still discussing Messi, still acting like every match is another episode in a series that started almost 20 years ago. And maybe that's the real story. Not the goal, not the rivalry, not even the statistics. The real story is endurance. These two players have dominated football conversations for so long that entire generations grew up knowing nothing else. Some younger fans literally entered football during the Ronaldo-Messi era. To them, this rivalry isn't history, it's normal. That's incredible when you stop and think about it. Entire careers came and went while these two remained the reference point. Young stars emerged. Golden boys arrived. Future superstars appeared. Yet somehow every major football discussion eventually circles back to the same two names. That's power. Not marketing power, not media power. Cultural power. The ability to remain relevant regardless of circumstances. The ability to dominate attention even when someone else should be the main story. Portugal wins. Ronaldo scores. Messi trends. That shouldn't happen. But it does. because football stopped treating them like players a long time ago. They're symbols now. One represents relentless ambition. The other represents effortless genius. Fans choose a side and defend it forever. Every goal becomes evidence. Every trophy becomes evidence. Every bad game becomes evidence. Every great game becomes evidence. The trial never ends. The verdict never arrives. And maybe that's why people remain obsessed. A final answer would kill the discussion. Uncertainty keeps it alive. As I watched the reactions pour in, I realized something. Nobody was actually changing their mind. Ronaldo supporters saw validation. Messi supporters saw perspective. Each group interpreted the same event differently. The goal didn't settle anything. It simply gave both sides new material. That's why the arguments continue. Not because the evidence is unclear, because the debate was never truly about evidence. It's about attachment. It's about memories. It's about choosing a hero and refusing to let go. And honestly, there is something beautiful about that. Football can be cynical. Football can be commercial. Football can be exhausting. But moments like this remind me why people care so much. A single goal, a single celebration, a single night, and suddenly millions of people feel something. Excitement, relief, joy, anger, vindication, all from one touch of a football. Few things in modern culture have that kind of power. By the end of the night, the scoreline almost felt secondary. The statistics became background noise. The real event happened online. Fans creating jokes, fans creating memes, fans building narratives, fans turning a football match into a global conversation. And right at the center of it stood Cristiano Ronaldo. A player many people said was finished. A player many people said should step aside. A player who continues finding ways to force himself back into the spotlight. Maybe he won't finish as the tournament's top scorer. Maybe he won't lift the trophy. Maybe this isn't even his greatest World Cup moment. But that's not why this night mattered. It mattered because it reminded everyone that football's most famous rivalry is still alive. Not because Ronaldo scored. Not because Messi has more goals. Not because fans refuse to stop arguing. It survives because both players continue giving people reasons to care. And as long as that keeps happening, every goal will feel bigger than a goal. Every celebration will feel bigger than a celebration. Every match will feel connected to a story that began decades ago. A story that refuses to end. Because Ronaldo's goal wasn't just a goal. For millions of fans watching around the world, it was another chapter in the longest conversation football has ever had.
If you enjoy this video, please like, share, subscribe and hit the bell to the later update from my channel. Thank you for watching till the end and see you in the next video.